When a baby is born, the doctor assigns the baby a sex, often based upon physical characteristics. Transgender describes people whose gender identity is different from the biological sex they were assigned at birth. This might mean that you have male body parts, but your gender identity is female. Chicago Public Schools' Diversity Toolkit describes gender identity as the deeply held sense or psychological knowledge that individuals have of their gender, regardless of the biological sex that they were assigned at birth. Everyone has a gender identity. Gender expression is the way someone expresses gender. For example, they may express their gender through clothing, hairstyle, or mannerisms. In 2014, Attorney General Eric Holder stated that the Justice Department's position going forward in litigation would be that discrimination against transgender people is covered under the sex discrimination prohibition in Title IX of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. In May 2016, under the Obama administration, public schools were directed to let transgender students use bathrooms and locker rooms matching their gender identity, and to use the students' preferred names and pronouns. Here are some significant transgender cases. A very important victory for transgender people occurred in 2016 when the 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in favor of transgender male student Gavin Grimm. This was the first ruling by an appeals court to find that transgender students are protected under the federal laws that ban sex-based discrimination. However, later in 2016, the U.S. Supreme Court agreed to put that ruling on hold. Also in 2016, guidance was issued by the Department of Justice and Education stating that schools which receive federal money must treat a student's gender identity as their sex. This means students can use the bathroom of their choice. However, this policy was revoked in 2017 by the Trump administration. The Education Department gave a memo to staff declaring that the lawyers of the Office of Civil Rights must consider the discrimination complaints of transgender students on a case-by-case basis, and that the office cannot rely on the Obama administration's guidance in determining how to answer complaints by transgender students. With the attempted suicide rate for transgender students at 41%, we as leaders need to do something about this. Here are some things you can do for your kids. Everyone has the right to be treated according to their gender identity. Call your students by the name and pronouns that match their gender identity. All students can use the restroom and locker rooms that match their gender identity and can't be forced to use separate facilities. Everyone has the right not to be bullied or harassed because they are transgender or gender nonconforming. You have the right to protect your privacy and choose who you tell or don't tell about being transgender. And finally, you have the right to join or start an LGBTQ club or Pride Alliance. And remember, if you or anyone you love is struggling in the LGBTQ community, This crisis hotline is always available at the Trevor Project.